Okay, welcome everybody to the Be Revolutionary podcast. I am your host, Andrew Perrie, with my co-host, Emily Berry, and today joining us is the big Jon Cain. Welcome, buddy. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day.
I like it.
You know that spring market is hot. It's hot. So we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join the podcast. This is episode 5 of the podcast. Thank you, everybody, for always tuning in. We really appreciate it. Emily, how's the thing going? How's the last week for you?
Well, last week was okay. I didn't get a haircut. I saw
Still no haircut?
You
That's what
got
I
a
was gonna say to you.
haircut.
Still no
Congratulations on your haircut.
Yeah.
At least we're all dressed similar today. Okay, I thought I'd go kind of like sort of dressy and then sort of just to match whatever you were
This is
doing.
an en noir from Michael Caswell's, by the way. By
And
Caswell's.
John is dressed in exactly what I knew he would show up in, is a busy, loud shirt, because that matches his personality. We're going to find out today, right, John?
Always busy and loud, guys. I can't remember the last time I was quiet. So I have 3 kids. I always have to be loud, or else I
Except
get
for maybe the
spoken
time
over.
that we talked post or pre-podcast.
Except when he has sleeping
When he was
accidents.
sleeping?
Yeah, we'll get into that
I'm
today.
sure we'll get into that later. But honestly, John, thanks for coming on the show. How long have you been with Revel now?
I've been with Revel since oh my goodness, actually. I've been with Revel. No, Emily's pointing
Emily
out.
has a note.
She's pointing out 2 years.
How long
Well,
he's
I
been at
was
Revel.
going to give you a welcome and introduce you. So I've got some numbers. He probably doesn't even know because all he does is sell. And he's like, I don't know how long.
Okay,
I've
so
been doing this.
same as last podcast. Let's rewind. And Emily, please introduce the show. Introduce our guest.
No, you already introduced the revolutionary podcast. I'm going to introduce Jon Cain because I really am excited to have him on today. John is super fun. We're going to have fun today. But you got your license in March 2018, roughly, and right away joined my team. I think it was right away. You think?
You're missing a few steps there, though.
What the heck am I missing? Did I
you know what
flunk this intro?
You can even rewind a little bit.
To when you were like
I
making
was
me do
with
push-ups?
Revel. I was with Revel about a year before I got my license. I was with Revel. I had my first
He's
meeting.
stealing my thunder here.
First, I met with I don't have
It's
to.
normal.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal it. I've been with Revel for a long time at this point. It's the greatest brokerage in the world.
Let's
I'm ready
correct.
to roll.
Okay, let's just so everyone knows what we're talking about. You committed to Revel long before you were licensed, and we're going to get into that today because you dove into the education program before you were licensed, which gave you a huge head start starting your business. So I want to talk about that today. Been with my team 2 years, 4 months, but definitely committed to Revel longer. John, one of the things I want to talk about today is what you did before you got licensed, because that helped really give you a really good kickstart in the first year, and you got some momentum going. Is that a good segue? I don't know.
Too, right? So, like talking about myself, and your story is basically similar to mine. So I love it.
Do you want to tell us about what you did before you started your courses, why you thought about joining us crazy realtors, and maybe a little bit about when you're doing your courses in the Revel Ed stuff?
Yeah, sure. I'm always a very full-time personality. My life is definitely loaded. I have 3 kids, so you have 2. So I got you there. I got you beat. So I have 3 children. I'm always very busy. Before I was a real estate agent, I was a personal trainer with Good Life Fitness. I was there for about 10 years, I believe.
Wow.
That's how I met Emily.
I remember that one
as
day she
well.
went to the gym.
And
That
people
one
are
day
going to
that she went
say,
to the gym, yeah.
Emily actually went to Good Life and worked out.
Yeah.
It lasted about 8 months.
It lasted a couple of Facebook posts.
I might have looked a little more in shape at one point. I was really, but I wasn't showing up a lot, and I was kind of stiffing you a lot.
I think we can all admit here, like we all train, we all try to be active, we all try and be physical.
Yeah.
I think we can all admit that real estate is so full time, right?
I
That
agree.
sometimes
I
it can
agree.
even take over your personal fitness goals, and
I think
I
so.
never thought that could possibly happen.
Yeah.
Like I always thought fitness was everything, this and that.
Yeah.
It's when you're in real estate, you're in real estate all in, all out, or else you're not doing a good enough job.
So you see now
I agree.
why I sometimes wouldn't show up, and I think definitely you get that. But I mean, you were so good at your job, and I remember when John told me, "Hey, I'm taking the courses. I'm going to get into real estate. I'd love to work with you guys." I remember just saying, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Like you have the perfect personality for this, because he's very, very convincing with people, and he's a people person. Mm-hmm. And then you had a lot of contacts, right? And you started networking right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Telling everybody you're getting into real estate, getting leads right away.
Yeah, I believe it's something that I truly 100% wanted to do. I never stopped talking about it with all my friends and associates. One of my managers back at the gym even said, like, John, you're talking about real estate more than you're talking about fitness. And I'm like, man, it's conversation. Number one thing, make clients have a good time.
Yep.
Make them have fun. If they're having fun,
I had fun when you trained us.
Entertained,
Yeah.
then everything's progressive, everything's moving forward. So that's my philosophy to this day. I always try and have fun. I always try and make everything be very upbeat.
Yep.
That's
important.
And you brought that into real estate because you're like that with your clients. So the way you were with your customers training, that's exactly how he is with his clients because I see him with them.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So, okay, you started networking and telling everybody you were getting into real estate. And I teach and train a lot of new agents, and I always tell them, don't be anonymous. Don't wait to tell people you're getting into real estate. There's that sense of, people are going to use me because I'm new. And I think you didn't care. You were like, that's okay. I'll go to the next person. Like, so you had such a good attitude, John, coming into it, and then you started taking the classes right away, right?
I think that, man, you made such a good point there. The new factor. Everyone's new at some point, right?
Exactly.
Back in the day, I was a new personal trainer, and I ran a seminar at Revel about this one time. When I started as a personal trainer, I had the mentality that I was going to change lives. I was going to be the best personal trainer. Nobody could help you better than I could. I know this, I know that. You guys should follow me. And there's sort of a fake it until you make it aspect of that as well. Yep. But people buy in and they trust you, and that's what you need. It's a business built on trust, just like personal training. So yeah, no, I did carry that same mentality into real estate. And I was well prepared in advance. Absolutely.
Yeah. And also, just so that other people know what we're talking about, so our Revel education program, you can actually join and sign up with our brokerage after course 2, I believe is our...
Yeah, but of course, I always recommend, make sure it's for you. If you take the first course, sometimes there's a drop off after that first course and people don't continue. So if you're in like the second course, third course, and 100% you're gonna finish and this is for you and you're enjoying it, I would 100% say to come talk to us because we will allow you.
We're not going to be open to the conversation before you even start. We can help you.
We
get
meet with
started
people.
with.
If people commit to Revel, we welcome them to start taking all of our classes. So that's what John did. He committed. He said, when I get my license, in 4 months or 5 months or whenever, I want to work at Revel. So he had access to all of the training, all the classes. I think we even started mentoring you a little bit. You might have even came on to some appointments with me before you were licensed. And then by the time he got his license, he was so much ahead of the game.
Yeah, I think that's important, especially in real estate. Just exactly kind of what you were talking about. It's not necessarily about fake it till you make it, although I know all about that. But it's one of those things about being prepared and hitting the ground running and letting everybody know who you are, what you're doing, and what you're working towards. Because if you're documenting that process and if you're like actually literally learning, then I don't see a problem with somebody being a new agent as long as they're doing what's necessary in order to become successful and treat their clients with, the duty of care that they need, right?
That's so well said, Andrew. Honest to God, when I started, I felt like I had 15 years experience. Right. With all the, is that weird to say? Like I felt really good. So
he was confident. He used to say to me, I'm going to sell so many houses. I'm going to destroy real estate. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'd be like, wow. And one of the things that John has is he's very convincing. And I think as a top producer, if there's anybody watching that's a newer agent, I have a recipe for top producers because I've seen a lot rise to the top, and I know that they have these 3 magic things. And the one is being convincing. You have to. Well, we have to close deals. We have to be convincing with people, but we have to be confident with what we're discussing and say they have to trust you, right? They have to say, this guy knows what he's doing. He's going to take care of us, and he's very convincing. First impressions is important. Your first impression on the phone and in person with people is very, very strong. So he's always had that going for him. Right off the bat, open houses. I remember popping in his first open house to check on him. I don't know if you remember this. And I was like, I'm just coming to check on you today. And you're like, all right, that's cool. And I sat off in the corner and I just sat there like with my mouth hanging open going like, what is happening right now? Because he just started converting all these people coming in the door and writing and meeting and building relationships and talking to people. I was like, he doesn't even need me here. I'm going. And then the third is hustling. You are a hustler. And those are my 3 magic ingredients. And that's Jon, because he hustles, and he doesn't
Modeled
quit.
after Jon, actually.
He's at the office with his kids, they're playing basketball, and he's like doing his paperwork, and he just works overtime, and it's not a profession to be not a hustler.
So what do you think? I mean, obviously going through Aria at the time and now Humber, they have a lot of education, but with Revel Ed, what do you think you learned the most from? Like, which course do you think maybe prepped you the most?
Okay,
do you have a favorite one? Careful, Emily's sitting.
Do you remember?
Because I have a strong opinion on all that. I think that the real estate courses through Aria or Humber are very valuable.
Yeah, good.
Some people might be controversial to that. I think they're very valuable in the sense that they are challenging. They're really challenging, and it really instills hard work into your brain. You can't go in and just fly through the exam and not do the material and not do the prep work. And I think that's the most practical advice you can get for real estate. You have to do the work. You're not just going to fly through real estate. You have to work in and out every single day, or else you won't be successful, period, right? So I think that's what I take from the Aria courses or the Humber courses, whatever way you want to look at it. From Revel Ed, they're very practical. They're very hands-on. Yeah. They're very real life oriented. We have a bunch of different instructors that run them at this point. So if I'm speaking in current times, you get a different perception. Even if you've been to one course, you can see it in 4 different fashions from 4 different instructors. So I'm going to have a completely different spin when I teach that course than you would have or you would have. And each one is going to be interpreted differently, right?
Yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest advantages of the Revel Ed program at Revel in particular is just because the variety of mentors that we have. So essentially, when somebody gets started up with us, we do kind of ask them, do you have a mentor in mind, right? We also make suggestions based on your attributes and things that, you want to pursue more. We have somebody who's more invested into country properties. We have people who are more invested into commercial properties.
I do try to pair
social
people
media.
nicely.
Exactly.
I
you do a really good job at that.
Sometimes they have somebody in mind, but... Sometimes, this one girl recently joined, and I had a one-on-one Zoom call with her, and right away, I thought Phyllis DeProfetis and her are going to match perfectly. Yeah. It's going to be a great match. But the courses, you know what, Jon, I appreciate you saying that. I think the Humber and the Aria courses get a lot of flack, for not preparing you, and they don't 100% prepare you for what you're about to experience in real estate. Let's face it.
For me, it was hard to
dealing with other agents,
issues.
negotiating, bidding wars, all that stuff. You can read about it, but until you're in that situation where you have to draft an offer in 20 minutes, you're on that site, you're trying to figure out these new websites. It's hard, right? So it's practical learning is always the best. And we have so many classes. We have upwards now, probably more than when you joined.
For sure.
I've created so many more. There's about 18 slideshow different classes, different variety.
But plus the business builder, plus
the business building classes, plus the demos. We have web forms. We have DocuSign demos. I do, the referral maker demo now. There's just so many new classes, and so we really prep them. But you finish them all right away. What I was going to say was, Jon. What Jon is really good at, Jon, and maybe you can talk about a little bit, is the calls. Because when COVID hit, I remember Joe and I saying, you know what? Jon is built for a pandemic because he loves the phone. No, I remember Joe saying that. I was like, you know what? You're right. He's actually was conditioned for something like this to hit us and not be allowed to leave his house for 2 months, whereas some other people weren't. And I think that was a big advantage, Jon, that you had, that you were comfortable with the phone, and that's your only tool you had for a while, right? Mm-hmm. So you're continuing to build relationships and leads. Do you want to talk about that at all? How you shifted, and then also maybe a little bit about the virtual meetings?
Absolutely. I can speak on that. I personally love phone calls. I think that your energy and your sort of personality can be communicated through a phone call. Even if you haven't met them before, you can win somebody over.
You're going to have to give us a sample.
What's that?
A
Yeah,
sample
sure, I'll
of
sample.
like when
I'll do
you
it right
say.
now.
You want me
I'll
to
pull up
turn
my
around
phone
and make it
calls.
sound like
No, you got to
role-play?
hear a sample, okay? Give us like a little bring what you
man.
say. Because it's not
Bring,
like,
bring.
hi,
Whoa.
it's Bob there?
Bring-
How are you
no.
today? No, that's not what he does.
Yeah, I think people. Okay, I'll give you a sample. I guess.
Sample.
All right, guys. This is
Here we
$1
go.
million. I'm not even getting paid for this podcast here. Okay, so realistically, I think when most people make phone calls, their average mistake would be like saying like, "Hey, hello, how are you? My name's Andrew Perrie, and I'm with Revel Realty Inc. Brokerage, and I'm here to help you today." To me, there's no personality in that. I really think you have to put a twist on everything. When I call somebody and they pick up the phone, I immediately think I analyze their voice, how they answer it, how they're going. I usually say, "Hey, how are you? It's Jon Cain. How's it going today?" We'll let them respond. "Hey, John, I'm doing great. I'm Jon Cain from Revel Realty. I'm here to help you because you've run into my platform on some level, and now we need to make a connection with each other. And I'm here to help you today. I'm just calling to make sure that your search is set up properly, and maybe see if I can switch anything around for you." So really, I just try and provide
But
value.
you're more like
instantaneously.
I think it's an approachable way he talks to people because it's not like, oh, a telemarketer, oh, somebody's just calling me and they're trying to get off the phone. It's an interesting hello that he does with them. Right?
Everybody wants to talk real estate. When you
they
get them
do.
on the phone,
Absolutely.
if you say you're into real estate, they want to talk to you. Where can
Yeah.
you go and not talk about real estate? If you make a phone call and somebody picks up the other end, they want to talk to you. They want to talk real estate. That's my opinion.
I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So you were doing calls from home. And I think what's important is we were talking last week on our podcast about just not sitting in everything and just shifting really quickly. So I think you did that as well. You're like, okay, what do I need to do moving forward? And you kept pushing and you kept making the calls. So do you want to talk about how the first time you offered like a virtual meeting to somebody? Because you were telling me you were doing it even before I was thinking of it.
So many emotions and thoughts going back like a month ago. It's so hard.
Actually,
because like we're skipping so much hard times there too. Let me touch on my hardest attribute to overcome there. What that was. Guys, I have 3 kids. Everyone's home.
They were all home.
Yeah.
How am I going to make phone calls? My kid's playing Fortnite, doing dances in the background. Oh my
TikTok.
God.
That was he was
TikTok
working.
meetings
Yeah.
all day. I don't even know what's. So I had to balance parenting and real estate full time. I never got a break, which is fine. I love my kids. I love being around them. They assist me more than they hinder.
Yeah.
But it's more on me wanting to do stuff with them than make the calls at home, which is still a challenge that everyone's going through right now.
Yeah.
Like I want to be with my kids. I want to go play Fortnite. I'm really good. I can build and crank 90s and all that crazy stuff with my kids, right? Yeah. So that's the hardest challenge that I sort of went through is just putting the time in for my work to do what I had done pre-pandemic. I'm getting a grasp on it now, and my lead gen is at least 1 to 2 hours a day at this point.
Yeah. Consistently. So it doesn't matter how
all the
busy
time.
he is with the paperwork and the pending stuff. He's always doing lead gen, and that's really important for the new agents. Because when I see new agents, like if I ask them at any time, like how many hours did you put in lead gen this week? Like some of them look like, well, what do you mean? Like, well, I don't know. They're not scheduling in their hours. They're not being committed to that lead gen. They're just running around maybe with a couple active people.
But I also think that a lot of that stems from them maybe not knowing what to do. And I think that's where Revel Ed comes in. And it was important for you, important for us, not to drop the ball and to pivot quickly to allow those courses to go online.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is tough. A lot of people think that real estate is more of, less of a sales game than anything else. Like you and I, we came from the gym background where, hey, it's Andrew Perrie from LA Fitness. How you doing today? Hey, John, it's Andrew. How are you from Andrew LA Fitness? It's like boom, 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 160 calls. Sit there for 4 hours a day.
But real estate, is more relationship building
Right.
and digging and more analyzing. Yeah, there's a lot more to it.
It's organization, guys.
Right.
Okay, you are one of the most organized agents on my team. I'm not just saying that because he's sitting here. He's super organized. He's, with his stuff, he's very dedicated. He's got 3 kids. My kids were older. So when the pandemic hit, I was enjoying their time, like I mentioned last week, but they were 12 and 14. So they were self-sufficient. And I remember thinking, yeah, you were at home with your kids and you've got little one there, and but you work-life balance well, like you do. And I know we're all not perfect, but I think you do a better job than most people. Like, you're with your kids, you do the soccer stuff.
You bring them out.
I saw you hiking, you guys going on hikes and walks and doing all that stuff. So that's good.
Yeah, no, there's so much time spent away from the family. I want to commit as much as I can to them when I can, right? Yeah. So I think it comes from, like, again, communication with your spouse in those situations, because that's a really real topic as well, right?
Yeah,
when are you guys going to schedule this and that? You often put yourself on the back burner.
I agree.
So Jon, the awesome thing is that at your 2-year mark, it might have been under his 2-year mark, you started expressing interest in helping others. And I remember, it didn't even occur to me, but he was really answering the phone and working with a lot of the new agents right at his 2-year mark. And now you are a mentor on the mentor program. And I only have probably you and maybe Darcy that really at the 2-year mark were became mentors because of their experience. They had so much experience. Their paperwork was in order. They had a desire to help. And at Revel, like, we have that opportunity for people to become mentors if they like genuinely want to help others and they have the experience. So I thought that was really cool. So at 2 years, you're on pace this year, Joe says, to do like 40, 50 ends.
Which is huge.
Considering we had like 3, a pretty bad
that's okay.
3 months. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to just throw some stats out here. In 2018, when you started in March, you did about 30 deals in your first year, which is awesome. Huge. In 2019, you crushed it, doing 60 plus. Do you even know these numbers?
I do.
Yeah, you do, because you count.
I do.
Okay, 2019 was awesome. And you know what, Jon? If this hadn't hit us this year, you'd be on pace for more than 50, but 50 is like fantastic. Now that I'm
amazing.
showing these numbers to him, though, he's so competitive. He's right now in his head going, you know what, I'm going to do 60 this year.
100 now.
I don't, no. My instant thought about that is, I just want to work full-time as much as possible. If I don't feel like I'm really busy in real estate, I feel like I'm not working enough, right?
You feel guilty.
And you like meeting new people. You're a people person, so you like helping people get into homes and building the relationships. Like, he's all about that. Yeah, so that's cool. I want to just ask, what do you enjoy about training the new agents? What's the best part of it?
What's the best part of training? You know what? I guess I would say I enjoy teaching the classes for everyone. I like running Revel Ed. I don't care if it's on Zoom. Have I done? Oh yeah, I've done a few in person. I started the classes. Oh, your phone there.
That's not my phone, guys.
Okay. I started a few classes right before the pandemic hit. I just enjoy being in front of people, putting my spin on things, because I feel I can help everyone at least in one different area, right?
Yeah. We taught a class the other day together. I'm going blank right now. What did we teach? Virtual marketing, virtual open houses.
We did the reinstatement.
We're going to talk about virtual open houses?
Yes.
Let's just hold on that just for 2 minutes here while we take a quick break.
again.
And we're back. Okay, so we were talking about virtual open houses, and now we're in phase 3. In Jon, growing with we always want to find realtors that are looking to grow within the company. If they're not, that's fine. But when we find somebody that is looking to put in their own time and effort to help others grow, we really want to encourage that. And so now, Jon, you're just teaching a bit of everything, right? That Emily was saying.
I can pull Jon in, most classes easily
of course,
to help,
right.
and he shows up and helps, and it's great that way. We did the other, it was virtual marketing we did, and then we just entered into phase 3 in Niagara.
Yeah.
So realtors are allowed to do in-person open houses again all of a sudden last weekend. So we threw a class, threw some information together for the agents, and we had quite a few show up because I think a lot of agents want to get back into in-person open houses because get in front of people. Jon, you love open houses. Open house is a really strong tool for you. But we want to do it safely. So we have, just yesterday, actually, our company sent out, there's a new form that Korea sent out. Everyone has to sign when they go in. We have these notices on the doors, limit 3 per party, limit 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to have to, have some challenges if it's a very busy listing and people lined up outside.
Yeah.
So we want the realtors to be prepared. Jon, are you? What's your thoughts on back to in-person open houses, and are you excited to do them? Are you going to jump back into them right away?
I'm in. I'm all in for open houses. I think there's a right and a wrong way to do most things, right? Yeah. So as long as we can control our environment and the way we let people in, the way we speak to our people, I think everything will be fine. I think the safety protocols are going to be in place. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to lean a lot on the realtors as well, right? It's going to command another level of our
professionalism, and just showing our professionalism. And I think it's going to be a very careful balance because we're trying to meet people, we're trying to convert leads, we're trying to get their information, asking them questions to get to know them, see if they have an agent, where are they looking, all these scripts that I've taught them that they already kind of struggle with. The new agents is getting comfortable with that, and now they're going to have to monitor traffic and get forms signed and explain, we need correct information for contacts, screen tracing if needed, and so they're going to have to balance that.
As professionals, though, we know when there's going to be 30 parties,
I think
30 different parties at an open house. We know the super hot listings that are going to attract everybody, Absolutely. Right? Mm-hmm. So even in those situations, I don't think that we would be against even having a couple agents there or an agent, one of our assistants,
one outside and
open
one
houses, just to maintain.
What about, and again, just chatting here, there's been some different opinions on masks, opinions on COVID in general. Yep. So I think we need to have some just ideas for our realtors if they run into any situations with people being disagreeing and being kind of confrontational at the door with them. What do you guys think?
Well, I think there just needs to be a clear message, and maybe there is. I haven't read through the entire, I don't plan on doing open houses right away. It's just my team we're just not ready for it yet. I don't want to make sure that the seller is in complete or feels completely comfortable before we do something like that. But I think that maybe there needs to be a clear message. So if you're not allowed into a restaurant right now without a mask on, then maybe it's the same for an open house. But however, I do feel like having an open house is going to be much safer than having a really hot listing, holding offers until the next few days, and then have 100 showings. And the only reason why is because there's nobody there to monitor that. Maybe there is an agent there, but I haven't seen any yet. And in those cases, maybe that should be treated as an open house. Bring your agent, bring whoever you need to bring. You get 10 minutes to walk through the house. Because, like Jon said, if it's a hot listing or not. You get 10 minutes, walk in.
I see what you're saying. Here's an idea. We might want to consider longer open houses, like 3 hours instead of 2 hours.
Or one at 11 and one at 4.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, how it's kind of similar to the back-to-back. Because I've had some listings where I'm booked every hour. Like there's an agent booked every hour going through, right?
Yeah, that's so frustrating.
It's frustrating.
Too.
But we're talking, guys,
agents.
we're talking about like a 2-hour period with like every 5 to 8 minutes people going through. So I think it's more, I don't know, it's a little bit more.
You could have open houses with 2 parties. one party though too, and then this conversation would be irrelevant, right?
There's a lot of different things we can talk about. At the end of the day, it comes down to what I had some people worried about running into people, confrontational. And I said, it comes down to what the seller wants. That's their home. That's their property. And if the seller says nobody is coming in here without a mask on, that's the seller's right. And nobody should argue that. I don't think so. And I hope nobody does.
As long as we're adhering to the board rules and the provincial rules, federal rules, and then, of course, the seller rules.
Yeah.
Then we're all good. But, I mean, Emily, you're getting right on that stage 3 virtual house preparation and training for the team, right? So it's important. Okay, what else? What else?
So another thing I want to point out
said.
about Jon, because Jon's our guest today, I want to talk a lot about Jon,
Thanks,
which I think it's almost like a rite of passage when people join my team, though. But he got into video right away.
Yes.
So I want to talk about video.
Geez. I wish we
It's
could show
almost
a
in
clip.
my
Maybe we
Perrie team
can edit this and
contract.
put a clip on.
You must be able, you must be on video sometimes. You must be willing. I don't even know if it says that in my contract.
through your
I think
shirt.
it actually
I
does
think it
say it
actually
in the contract.
does.
Yeah.
So you can't join my team without being on video sometimes.
Yep.
But you went to video right away, and I'd say like you've had some really funny videos that you've done. You almost jumped in a pool for me in North End Niagara Falls at the time, but you didn't because you said you didn't have your Speedo.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that now. Now I remember.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I think you do some fun videos with Joe because I don't go on your shoots. Joe goes, and then he'll come home and he'll be like, "I'm curious. Check out Jon's video," and you're just like so comfortable in front of the camera now. You wear your colorful shirts, and I'm like, "Oh man, he's stealing my thunder."
Joe's the man. He's the man. He makes me feel really comfortable too. I'm like, hey, wouldn't it be hilarious if I laid on this couch like this?
Oh my gosh,
And he's
that
like,
was a
that would be
good
amazing.
one.
You should do that. I'm like, Joe, I was super kidding. I wasn't being honest at all, buddy.
But you
He's
laid
like,
on
no,
that
you
couch.
should do that and say that. And
Can we
it
edit
sorta
in
works,
him laying on the couch, please? I'll send it
That's a
to.
good one. Yeah, edit that in. Yeah, I can. Yeah, edit that in, pal. Let's go.
But then you have a tagline. What's your tagline? Do you still have
From
do
the
your
one and
tagline?
only Barrie team?
It's Jon Cain from Revel Realty's one and only
The Barrie team.
I used to do the flex down and all that, but that's in the past now.
Yeah.
You don't
You've
flex
grown.
anymore.
I haven't.
Is it because the
Ruined
gym?
too many shirts.
COVID-15? Yeah.
I think I said to you when you got into real estate, you know what, Jon? I don't know if you're going to work out every day when you're a busy realtor. And I think you were like, no, I'm always going to work out every day. It's so important. And I think it's funny how you mentioned how it's tough.
You know what? Let's squash that because now I have a gym in my house.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
canceled my gym membership. I'm not saying don't go to gyms. I'm saying I'm not going to gyms. I love my home gym.
canceled mine,
And I
too.
get to train with my oldest
Your son, yeah.
My daughter rides the bike every day when we go down and train.
Yeah.
My wife will do cardio beside us,
Yeah.
and my kid will be playing video games upstairs. But it's a lot of fun. So it's
I've been thinking
another
about
activity.
it. Just piling the garage, like putting a new floor down
Yeah,
and
that's
getting
what
a
I
home
did.
gym.
Yeah.
Man, it's expensive though.
It's expensive.
Jeez.
Oh my
Especially now because
gosh.
it's in such high demand.
You know why? It's because, same thing as
Well, it's heavy to
what
ship,
can I say
right?
here
All
without
that
if you buy discount products,
you get discount.
you'll get
results.
discount results. Period.
Yeah.
With fitness equipment,
Yeah.
you cannot have inferior equipment. You need the proper items in order to get the results you're
I
looking
agree.
for.
Yeah.
Period. In anything in life.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me
Good
ask
point.
you. I'm going to put you on the spot here. So, what I have observed with Jon is that your customer service with your clients is off the charts. So, for somebody so busy doing so many deals, because you've done open houses where you've got 3 sales out of one open house. I've talked to you on days where you're submitting up to 6 offers for buyers, and this is what he does. So he's very, very busy. But your customer service is always top notch with your clients. And I hear you on the phone with them. You answer the phone, you walk them through everything. Is there any really memorable experiences you've had in real estate with a family or a tough situation that you've got people through, and that you visit them afterwards and you feel like this is why I'm doing this? I love my job.
Man,
Is that too loaded question?
It is not. It's a really, really appropriate question, and I'm sure I could pull tons of.
I can let you think about it.
Such a hard question to answer.
Andrew and I can make fun of each other for a few minutes.
You know what? Actually, I can go into one. I sold a house really, really recently in Welland. Fantastic family, great kids, awesome husband and wife. They were just nice to deal with, period.
Yeah.
However, they had a terrible, terrible perception of realtors in general.
Yeah.
No trust. It was gone. They had a bad experience previously. And it's like everything I do everything 100% in, just like you said. If I say something, I'm going to do it. If I tell you I'm going to offer this for marketing, this for open houses, and this for the follow-up and paperwork when I contact you, I'm going to do that, period. Yeah. I honestly don't think they believed me at first. They ended up choosing me over another realtor, which was great. So I felt fantastic about that there.
Yep.
They were always questioning everything I did. Questioning. So I would go above and beyond. This is why we're doing this. This is the right step to do. This is a really good offer on your home. We need to open up, be vulnerable, let them have their conditional period, and just trust that the agent on the other end too is working to get this deal done. And the whole time, doubt. It worked out, guys. Yeah. What do you know?
Yeah.
Follow expert advice when it's given to you. And these people not only sold their property that they thought was unsaleable, we found them a dynamite home to move into.
Yeah.
And
that's great.
That's fantastic. Fantastic
well,
family,
and you know what?
who you are.
I think a lot of, and I'm thinking of like classes he's taken that he's probably learned bits and pieces,
Yep.
bringing his own, obviously his unique personality into it, but walking people through those scary moments where they don't have the trust with an agent and they see something and they're second guessing everything, and just staying patient with them, walking them through, holding their hand step by step.
I'll interrupt you right there. That's such a good point. The clients absolutely know when they want that home. If you're walking through a home and that client, they know when they're ready to buy that home. It's your job as a real estate agent to make them feel confident about that purchase.
Convincing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
they know they want it. You got to put them over the edge.
Gotta help them get
then
there.
that's
great.
your job.
It was a good conversation up traveling with a friend of mine who's not in real estate, and I was just kind of talking about some real estate stories, and that came up. And sometimes when I was first starting out, I was like, hey, look, I really think this is what you should do, but it's your decision. It's your decision. Hey, you do what, you need to do what you feel comfortable with. And then eventually, and it was one of my friends, but he said, Andrew, he's like, stop telling me it's my decision and tell me what to do. And see, you forget sometimes that sometimes you have the perception that you think clients think you're just out for commission. You're not really there to help them out, even though you're doing your best. And really, sometimes they may think like that, but usually it's because they've got so much trust in you as a professional that they're waiting for you to give that appropriate response and give them that push into buying something. I know sometimes it's tough. You don't want to push people too hard when you're dealing with a lot of money or accepting an offer that maybe they're not too comfortable with accepting, but maybe it's just because we haven't done a good job explaining the market value process and things like that. But you're absolutely right. Sometimes they just need that professional push.
What we did was, I trained Jon a lot, and then he learned a lot on his own, but is really explaining to them and getting down to like, here's the risks of this, here's the benefits, really dissecting their decisions. That's what they want from us as a professional.
I agree.
They don't want like, well, what do you think? Like, do you want to counter it? Like, they're going to say, what should we do? Like, are we going to get a better offer than this?
Yeah.
What's your professional opinion? Yeah. And I think there's that. A lot of agents don't want to be the one to say, do this in case it's wrong. Because we do take gambles sometimes, right? And we bring them an offer and they say, well, can I get more? And then we have to analyze, you've just had 16 showings. Nobody else has given us an offer. Here's what the market's doing. Let's look at this offer in front of us. And I think we should work with it because they don't always have the knowledge, right? To know that there may not be another offer as good as this come along. Right. And if we wait a month, we could get less. So I think they need guidance.
But I also think that guidance for sure. But I think some agents as well, and this is what we try to do at Revel as well, is prepare you to not only negotiate with other agents, but also learn how to negotiate properly with your own clients.
With your clients,
and what I mean by that is that some agents don't know how to respond when their own client, let's just say, use this number. Okay, listed at 900, we got 895. It's been on the market a couple of days. The client says, you know what? Maybe I think we should counter at 900. I'm like, look, and some people don't know how to handle that. They say, well, I mean, it's only 5,000. Maybe we
I've
can
been
counter.
there, yeah.
And I get that. There's no harm in feeling that way. But you got to understand, these people came in with no conditions, chose your closing date, and it's $5,000 under asking. Yeah. Obviously, that's going to be different on where you price the home. But
and then it's like gambling, right, guys? I always say it's like going to the casino and you have $895,000 sitting in front of you. I can't tell you to not take it. I don't know when you're going to get another $5,000, $10,000.
Exactly. But sometimes that's just the seller asking.
Yeah.
Simply asking.
What do you think?
I could get $5,000 extra?
Yeah.
Or, hey, Andrew, I think we can get $5,000. Okay, yeah, but here's why we're probably not going to.
Yeah.
Right? So I think as opposed to panicking, we should all be fully prepared. And I think Revel does a good job at
John, your negotiation skills are top notch, especially with other agents. So I think you've learned that there's a lot of other realtors in this industry that can be very difficult to work with. And sometimes that's our biggest challenge in a transaction. Our clients are doing great. They're listening to us. They're motivated. There could be a party on the other side that did a good, made a good offer, but the other agent on the other side is being difficult and doesn't know their job and is creating some challenges. So it's really staying calm and professional is key. And you're very good at dealing with the other agents too.
I agree.
I'm trying to think of there's so much
that
makes him good.
You guys are saying right now where we could do a full another podcast on that, right? I think that when you're dealing with another agent, the best way for them to hear you out fully is. And I started doing this really early. I'll write them a nice email. These are my clients. This is their background. They want this house. I'm following up with you. Here's their income. Here's their this. Here's their that. You pre-frame everything with that other agent so that they know that you're serious and that they're serious. Mm-hmm. They're pre-qualified through BMO. Well, this is the home inspector we're going to use. My guys want this house. They have 3 kids. They're very, very motivated buyers. What's it going to take for me to get this house?
It's representing the buyer.
The other agent knows you're serious, and then they flip on it as well, and you're almost partners at that point in time.
Yes, you are.
Because
Even though you're working for your buyer and seller independently,
right?
you're almost partners, and there has to be a relationship there.
Absolutely. There's got to be a win-win. And not only that, you're in the best interests of all your future clients by holding and fostering good relationships with the other agents, even outside your own brokerage, right?
For sure.
You know what? I'm gonna just shift, and maybe we could finish with this. I know you have a team, Andrew.
Yeah.
Everyone knows probably that John is on my team. John, I always get the question asked: should I join a team? What are the benefits when I'm a new agent joining a team? Like, should I join a team? Should I not? Do you have any comments? Because I know you're one of our biggest team players on the Perrie team. Like he's first to jump in to help out somebody, like huge team player, which makes you a great addition to our team. Do you have any advice for a new agent kind of wondering what a team's all about and if they should explore that when they're new?
You should absolutely explore it, without a doubt. I mean, it's been incremental to my career to this point, period, hands down, without question. So if you feel like you want extra guidance, extra support, the ability to have somebody to talk to realistically. Yeah. I mean, I was in a gym environment. I talk to people every second of the day. I like being around people. I like having a team. I see a lot of value in it, hands down.
And the new agents do get mentors at Revel. They're paired with somebody, but a team is a little bit different. Yeah, you get other people. On our team, you get Joe. So I was the team leader. Technically, I was your mentor in the first year. So I reviewed all your paperwork and I guided you through all of your sales in your first year. But I mean, you were calling Joe, you were leaning on Nick. If you guys, were sick or on vacation, you were looking after each other's stuff and you had that core group. So that's what I explain to new agents. There's give and take. It has to be
for sure.
I have to be getting something out of this team, but I also have to be giving value to this team too, right?
Absolutely.
And you offered us great value because I was leveraging leads I couldn't get to, and I need strong people to give those leads to. And he listened to the training, and you picked up on things really quickly, and you were converting. So yeah, team's a whole other podcast, right?
Right. No, I agree.
But I just wanted to point that out because you started on a team. This has been a lot today.
That's it.
Is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, we got about 5 minutes left
Yeah.
to round everything up. And
I'm yours, guys.
What-
Ask
so
me
like,
anything.
okay,
I'm
so
ready
what is
to
this?
go.
So as somebody who's a fairly new agent, I mean, you know, you've got a ton of experience under your belt
I know, I don't
now.
feel like you're new,
I know,
but you
I
are
don't, I
still,
know. I
sort
feel
of.
weird saying
Me?
that, but yeah.
Oh, me. Yeah.
I feel weird saying that, but like you're still technically a rookie if you were to win Rookie of the Year, right?
I don't know if you
that's 2 years.
can win Rookie of the Year in your second or third year.
I thought it was.
I don't-
Anyways, doesn't matter.
You were Rookie of the Year.
I was Rookie of
first
the Year Revel Realty Edition, right?
Yes,
So,
Revel
The most
Realty.
but that was in my
important
my
edition.
first
That's-
year. I'm in my third year, guys.
Yeah.
So
Anyways,
you're
so
not, yeah. You're,
what I
you're-
meant by that, John, was obviously you've been doing amazing, and as a newer agent,
I
what is
appreciate
some
it.
advice that you can give to the newer agents thinking
Yes.
about choosing a brokerage?
I would say the main claim to fame in my eyes with regards to Revel Realty is 100% the mentor program. If you need help
Yeah.
in any facet at any time,
Yeah. We try not to tell
I-
everybody that.
I will
2 in the morning.
I
phone
will
call.
absolutely help you and
Yeah.
walk you
Yeah.
through step by step. One of my mentees the other day said, "Do I offer a lower commission because I'm new?" I said, "You're a veteran at this point. I'm walking you through step by step
Yeah.
everything you need to do from beginning to end in this deal.
Yeah.
You are an extension of me, and I will make sure that you do
Yeah.
a fantastic
I
job.
love- that's
whether you're
amazing.
listing,
I
whether
know
you're
he's good.
buying, and you are the number one agent around. Because if you have a question, you can absolutely ask me,
Yeah.
and I'm going to give you the best advice available on the market."
How convincing
Damn.
was that? And
That
then
was
they're
amazing.
like,
That
"Yes,
should be our
thank
next
you.
commercial."
I'm going to charge full." Yeah, I think
because it's so true.
It is true.
You are an extension of your mentor, and your mentor is going to make sure that you do well, and you know they're protected.
down.
Yeah, I love it.
great at motivating the new agents. And any just any advice to getting through this year in 2020 with all of the challenges
Yep.
that we still have. Like, what's like the single thing that if you could tell new agents that they should get on?
Organization, guys. If you open up my calendar right now, if we had my book here and we opened it up, you're gonna see follow-up calls. Talk
Yeah.
to this guy. Didn't want to talk to, small little notes. Didn't
Yeah,
want to talk to me
make
today.
notes.
Follow up, boom, Thursday, 4 p.m. because that's when they said they were available. Make
Yeah.
notes, do those follow-up
Make
calls. The clients will appreciate it. It's not a turn and flip game. It's not a turn and flip game.
no.
It's a build relationships,
Yeah.
help them along their journey and their process, and then that's when the larger numbers start coming, where you get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months where 6 sales in 1 month because of the relationships you fostered 8 months ago, a year and a half ago. So it really is a time under tension game.
Perfect.
It makes me cry. I taught him well. No, but
Okay.
that's the secret to this business, is it
100%.
not? It's
Without a doubt.
relationships. I always
Yeah.
say that, and we're not just saying that. Like, that is seriously the you've nurtured these people, you hold their hand until they're ready to buy. It's not about meeting somebody, oh, they're not ready and moving on. Like, that's being impatient.
that'll happen,
Like, you're good at nurturing
But
them, right?
it's
at my-
very few and far between.
Look at my latest post.
Yeah, why do
It's
you look
about
so
creating
slick?
relationships and not customers.
There you go.
Well, you have all these cool pictures, like looking all cool. I got to
I'm
get on
cool.
that.
I'm a cool
I don't
guy.
have that.
I'm very cool. Anyways, John, thank you very much for coming on.
you, sir.
As you know, we appreciate your time here today. Emily, your time as well is valuable.
Oh, I love being on the Revolutionary podcast.
The Be Revolutionary.
Be
podcast.
Revolutionary
Be
podcast. Ooh, I failed. I'm still
Okay,
in
guys, thank
training.
you, and we will tune in next week with you.
That was the worst.
That was an epic
they
fail
tuned into
ending,
us.
eh? I said the podcast name wrong. That was awkward ending.